Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are finally sitting down and playing with the Conspiracy palette from Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I am so sorry that it's taken me this long to hop on camera and film this video. I know a lot of you guys were expecting my review to come out early on in the launch, but unfortunately I did not receive PR for this collection. I'm not sure if it was a mistake or what. I can't get a hold of anybody, but it's totally fine. I bought this palette myself. I waited for it to come just like anybody else. So with all of that being said, I do feel like I'm one of the last people to review this palette. So in this review, I want to cut out the BS. I'm sure you guys have heard all of the information about this palette already, but I will load the description box down below with all of the information I can think of that I would typically include in a review. So if you guys want to see swatches of this palette and you want to see 3 looks, one with each row, then just keep on watching. So with this Conspiracy palette, there's a lot of hype around it, obviously, but there's a lot of mixed feelings about the color story, and I can definitely see why. I'm going to give you guys a little close-up of the palette before I dipped my little fingers in it. But from a first glance, it definitely can look a little intimidating and confusing. So this is how I break down this palette in my head for my own personal use. The first row looks completely neutral, wearable, not intimidating, something you could throw together a daily look with, and I love that. I feel like it gives the palette a purpose for anybody. The second row is obviously pops of color. We have yellow, pink, orange, red. This is more artistic. You could call it summery even. And then the bottom row, which really speaks to my soul this time of year, it looks completely appropriate for New Year's Eve looks or holiday parties. I feel like I see like Christmas tree vibes over here and New Year's Eve with the Diet Cola and the silvers, and it just looks wintry on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is first give you my arm swatches. So I'm going to show you how each row of this palette swatched. The first neutral row, which is so beautiful for daily wear. The second row with the bright pops of color, also the color Conspiracy, which is a beautiful like olivey green. I could see that being worked into daily makeup as well. And then the bottom row that I just absolutely am obsessed with. I cannot wait to create more holiday looks with this row. So now what I want to do is just jump right into the 3 mini tutorials that I did with this palette. It was my first time ever trying the Conspiracy palette, and I really had fun with it. So just keep on watching if you want to see the 3 different eye looks. Okay, so the way I kind of wanted to do this video today is starting with the darkest shades, which is the bottom row, working my way up. I've never done a 3 looks in one video kind of thing before, but I thought it would be beneficial because I'm one of the last people to review this. I just want to try to do something a little bit different. So I've mentioned this a few times, but the bottom row to me gives me Christmas, New Year's Eve vibes. So I want to do a look that maybe I would wear to a party. I have 2 shades in particular that I love the most out of this bottom row, and that is Not a Fact and Sleep Paralysis, which Not a Fact is like a maroon. Sleep Paralysis, I don't even know how to describe. It's like a beautiful kind of taupey metallic. Now I will go into other shades as helper shades, but the main focus for the first look is bottom row. I just have concealer down on my eyelid, a little bit of powder over top, so I am going to go in with the shade My Pills. My Pills is in the top row. It's a matte kind of transition cream shade for me. I'm just going to dust this over my base so that everything glides together. So it's kind of sad it doesn't take much to start losing the stamp in the eyeshadow. I'm already starting to lose that little like Illuminati stamp. And I'm super highlighted today. If you guys are wondering, I just decided to load up my face with my favorite highlight. It is Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade Yasss. It's all-time fave. It's running really low, which is surprising for like a loose powder highlight. It's kind of crazy. So before I dive into that bottom row, I'm going to highlight my brow bone with the shade Ranch. Ranch is a white shimmer shade, and I'm picking up my cute little fan brush, and I'm going to pop this underneath my brow. I kind of like don't need this today, but since this is going to be the most glam look probably out of all 3, I figured why not go in with an intense brow bone highlight. You guys know I've been reviewing Jeffree Star for like 3 years now. I'm super confident in his formula, and so I'm not really here to judge the formula. I'll let you know if it's the same. It's already feeling like it's the same. But I'm kind of just trying to play with the color story. All right, so it's time to start with the shades in the bottom row. I'm going to go in with the maroon shade, Not a Fact. I'm going to pick it up on a white-haired blender, and hopefully this will blend nicely into my crease. I'm starting in the outer corner, and I'm also going to put some of the shade in the inner corner, and I'm kind of feeling maybe a halo eye look kind of vibe. Honestly, Jeffree's shadows are just like some of the easiest to work with. They just blend pretty much instantly, especially if you put down a nice little transition shade. And if you guys are new to my channel, I'm not like this mega artist. I really do try to do looks that anybody could do. I'm not the most talented human being on the planet. I'm not ashamed of that either. My thing mostly is soft, neutral glam. And I love that soft glam is kind of taking the internet by storm lately, because it is difficult to produce a really pretty soft glam look. I definitely respect all forms of art, and it's crazy how talented some people are out there. But your average Joe makeup consumer is not like one of the most practiced makeup artists in the industry kind of thing. This is such a beautiful color combination, that brow bone highlight with this pretty kind of like purpley maroon color. I'm loving this combo, and I think this is going to end up being a really pretty kind of holiday date night look or New Year's Eve night look. I just kind of knew when I saw this palette how it was laid out in my mind. And the other one that I really want to try is Illuminati, because it's like a forest green shimmer, and I feel like that would make a really beautiful eye look. I kind of base my eye looks off of what I'm doing in my life, and I could see myself wearing that. Not to be super cheesy, but like to go pick out my Christmas tree because it's forest green. I'm picking up a smaller brush with the same Not a Fact shade, and this time I'm going to place it into the inner portion of my lid. And I just want to make sure I don't go too high up with this, because I'm going to put that sleep paralysis shade right in the middle of my lid. I am going to be super upset if this is my favorite look out of all three, because I'm gonna have to wash it off soon. Now, typically I would go in with my finger for this, but my nails are very, very long, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to successfully dip my finger into these pans. But I'm going to go into Sleep Paralysis with a cream color brush, and this is going to go in the middle of the lid. I'm already kind of thinking ahead if this ends up being a little too dark than what I imagine. I think I might go in with Diet Cola over top just to make it pop a little bit. So that's a beautiful shade. I am getting kind of a ton of fallout, but that's kind of to be expected with a metallic. I'm just kind of layering this over that lid space, letting it kind of fall over the outer color. And then basically I'm going to mimic those upper lid colors with the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with the Not a Fact and smoke out the lower lash line, and then tapping a little bit of Sleep Paralysis right in the middle. Now I'm going to chuck on a pair of lashes and mascara, and I'll show you what the first look looks like. All right, so that was the first look with the bottom row of the Conspiracy palette. So this is definitely more date night, kind of holiday glam in my eyes. And to finish up this look, I did add a little bit of Jeffree Star Christmas Cookie to my lips. And now we can, unfortunately, wash this off and move on to the middle row. Okay, so it's time for row 2. Now, blinking out my eyes was a little harder than I thought it would be without messing up my face makeup, so I'm sure by the end of this I'm going to look a little bit crazy, but I did put down a concealer and I tried my best to cover up any residue of the previous look. Now, this middle row look is probably not going to be what most of you are expecting. I did get a lot of odd requests on my Instagram posts, so that's what I'm basing this look off of. But I'm going to start off the same exact way as I did the first look. I'm going to dip into the shade My Pills, which kind of just works. It's like a skin tone color for me. And I'm going to set that concealer that I have down and set myself up for a nice transition. Now I could easily do a rainbow look with this middle row. There's so many options for artistic looks here, and so many have already been done. I feel like I created a rainbow look with one of Jeffree's palettes, probably the Thirsty palette if you guys want to check out that video. I really just want to see how that yellow performs. I know it sticks right out of the palette, so that's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to start by blending it into the crease, and then I will pack it on the lid. So we're just going to pick up food videos with a blending brush. I'm going to dip in here. There is a little bit of fallout. Now, some of you guys were wondering if it shows up neon on the lid. If you really want something to be neon, whether it be on your lid or on your nails or anything, you should put down a white base. But I am not putting down a white base because I want to see how it performs on its own. I do have a little bit of a purple tint to my lids from the last look, so we'll see. But I'm just going to start by packing it. I mean, it's pretty much doing all the work. There's a little bit of fallout. I'm going to have yellow face makeup from this point forward, probably. Okay, well, I'm blending it into the crease, and I can kind of see where people might be having issues with this shade. It's a little less neon once you put it on. Once it blends with the tone of your skin, it becomes more of like a mustard yellow kind of thing. Jeffree's liquid lipsticks are eye safe, and there was a yellow in the previous mini rainbow equality set. I believe there was a yellow, and you could put that down as a base and blend it out. You probably wouldn't even need a shadow over top. There is a little bit of fallout, but I don't know if there's anything to it, but it's easy to brush away. Like sometimes an eyeshadow will ruin your whole look and it won't be able to brush away, but these actually brush away pretty well. So I would say my final thoughts on food videos is that it blends beautifully. I feel like it does need a base, and it's a little trickier than some of his other shadows. And I think there's really not much more you could expect out of a yellow like this. So I like to go in with a shade like Posh Spice. It's a darker nude on the lip, a nice bold cat eye wing liner, and lashes. And I'll come back and I'll show you how I tie this together. Okay, so this is my completed look with row 2. Just very simple food videos all over the lid, black Benefit roller liner, and some lashes. I did this a lot over the summer on my Instagram with multiple different palettes, but I actually really do love the yellow out of this palette. I definitely think it takes a little bit of finessing and a little bit of work and would be better with a better base, but I'm honestly not mad at it. I think there are a ton of things that you could do out of this middle row, but if you're asking me, someone who doesn't really play and mix colors a lot, I would definitely take them all individually and do blown out, smoked out looks. And now we can move on to my absolute favorite, which is Soft Glam with row number 1. So I'm going to show you guys how I do like my typical Soft Glam eye look, maybe with a little bit of a twist. I'm not sure. I'm just going to dive into it like I would on a normal daily basis. Same boring first step for all 3 looks. My pills all over the lid as a transition. It just seems to work for me. So moving on over to Tanacon, I'm going to take this to deepen up the crease a little bit. Now, Jeffree did say you can use this as a contour, and you can use the shade Pigment as a blush. So a lot of these, because they're in like nice big pans, you can use for multiple things. And I really like that as well. I like the versatility of his shadows. So I'm taking a little white blender and I'm just going in, deepening the crease a little bit. And honestly, his matte shades are insane. They just blend together so effortlessly, so smoothly. I know some people aren't wowed by this palette, but I really do feel like when you break it up into sections, it's a lot easier to understand and to work with. So I'm going to go for what I would call like a Kourtney Kardashian bronze eye. So I'm going to take the shade Just a Theory. That's a shimmery bronze shade. And I'm going to pack this all over my lid very effortlessly and then blend with my blending brush. And I'm just going to tap this on the lid. I've got a lot of lash glue in my lashes right now. I tried to pick it out, but that's just what comes with the territory of doing this many looks. Now this is beautiful, very simple, and very easy to do. So this is when I would typically stop, but I'm going to keep going just for the sake of using more shades in here. So I'm going to take the shade Diet Root Beer with a pencil brush, and I'm going to smoke out my lower lash line. I'm covering up the little wrinkles that I have under my eye. It's something that I love to do even on a regular daily basis, just because any shadow down here that is dark enough really just takes away from the fact that you have wrinkles if you do have wrinkles. Taking the blending brush from earlier, I'm just going to blend that out a little bit more. And what I'm going to do is take the Diet Root Beer shade, and I'm also going to kind of deepen up the crease a little bit because I don't want what I just did with that shadow to close off my eyes too much, which I think it's starting to do. And I'm just going to deepen the outer edge a little bit. Kind of give the illusion that I've got this nice big space up here when I kind of don't. Everything blends so effortlessly. It's like I barely have to touch my lid to get it to blend. And just because I liked it so much earlier, I'm going to do the same brow bone highlight as the first look, taking Ranch and popping it underneath my brow bone. It's just like the ultimate brightening shade. And I'm actually going to take Ranch and put it on my inner corner of my eye as well. But that is like the quickest, I think I did this in 4 minutes, makeup look for daily wear. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some mascara. Actually, I'm going to pick out some of this glue, put on some mascara and a pair of lashes, and that will be the soft glam look with row 1. So that was the Conspiracy palette in use, all 3 rows. I wanted to do a little something different with this video. I, of course, love all of the looks, my favorite probably being the bottom row holiday look, but of course, you guys know I love my neutral glam as well, but I really hope that helped you guys out. I did want to say I feel like this is fairly consistent and on par with all of the previous shadows that Jeffree has released, in case any of you guys were wondering. The only one that gave me a little bit of a struggle while swatching with a finger was Not a Fact. It just felt a little bit more dry than the other colors, but Not a Fact performed probably the most beautifully on the eye out of anything that I tried today, so you really can't judge it off of a finger swatch. But personally, to wrap up my opinions about this palette, I love witnessing all of the work that went into it with the series. I can't wait to see their reactions to the crazy launch day and everything. I feel like I just have such an appreciation for the individuality of each of these shades. I personally have been watching Shane longer than I've been watching Jeffree, so I just love seeing the two of them combine their efforts, and I just think that this is such a gem to have in my collection. It's probably one of the most meaningful makeup pieces that I have, and I do really appreciate all the work that went into it. So I want to know if you guys would want to see any other looks with this palette. I would be happy to do some over here or even over on my Instagram. I play with color a lot over on my Instagram if you guys don't already follow me over there. But I think this wraps up my review of the Conspiracy palette. Like I said, I'm going to leave as much information down below as I possibly can. I just wanted to spare you guys the details. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you enjoyed the concept of 3 looks in one video, then let me know in the comments below. But I don't have anything else to say other than thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and hopefully I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.